Hi, everybody. I don't want to leave the impression from my post yesterday that was, rather serious and somewhat dire, that the world is ending or that Balanchine's ballets are going to be irreparably damaged, etc. Not at all. I mean, Balanchine made a point of not leaving his ballets to the New York City Ballet as an institution, because he wanted them to be danced all over the world by various companies, and he knew full well that there would be different interpretations of his choreography, and he was fine with that. He really didn't care. He told me that he thought that his ballets would all disappear someday, and I was like, no, you can't say that. And he said, oh, dear, they'll be gone, someday gone. And anyway, different people will change them. And he actually went on record saying that in a PBS, one of the great performances, or I think it was Dance in America series, where you hear his voiceover saying that after he's gone, the ballets will be rehearsed by different people, staged by different people, danced by people he didn't train. So I think his quote is, they will be my ballets, yes, but they won't be the same. They won't look the same. So I have to be careful that I'm not letting my nostalgia and my love of the ballets as they looked under his direction bring me down. So I really appreciate the support I've gotten from a lot of people sending me notes, sounding like they were worried about me. I'm fine. I'm working on a couple of big projects here in Los Angeles that if they go through, it's Hollywood, so it's a problem, but if they go through, it'll enable me to put back my own company again, and like I had with the Los Angeles Ballet originally, and I've posted tons of videos of those dancers and those performances, and I'm very proud of those. I think it wasn't only just Damian Woetzel. We had wonderful dancers in the company, and I can do that again. It's just harder to do it on my own. It would have been easier to go back to New York and help coach and teach New York City Ballet, which is what I wanted to do. But the board has its reasons, and we must respect those. I'm sure that if this girl is chosen, the one I've heard about, she'll do a good job. As I said, she was a wonderful ballerina. But being a wonderful dancer does not automatically make you a wonderful director. But she's very smart, and I pray she surrounds herself with good people. I am, overly nostalgic, and I have a ridiculously good memory. Balanchine once said, dear, you love my ballets more than I do. And I went, yeah, I do, actually. Because he would change steps and, different things, and he would forget sometimes. For example, there was a rehearsal of Egon, and I had been doing the first pas de trois boy, the solo. And Anthony Blum came back, and I had a lot to do, so Balanchine was putting Tony back in that role, which he had done before me. And Tony forgot something in the finale, and Balanchine said, okay, we change it. And I was sitting on the floor, and I went, no! I screamed no, because Egon is difficult enough, if you've seen it, and to count it, and to memorize it, and then enjoy it and dance it, it takes some time. But Mr. B was all happy about, oh no, I'll just change it. I went, no, please don't change it, because that meant we'd have to learn something new. And so then I showed Tony what he'd forgotten, and everything was fine. But so there are lots of variations of Balanchine running around. There's lots of good stagers. I'm not saying I'm the only person, please, that can stage Balanchine. There's a few of us left. My focus, though, in all of this was simply on the New York City Ballet. As an institution, as I said, I would want it to be the best place to go to see Balanchine ballets being danced the way he wanted them. And I guess that's just impossible, and I have to get over it. When I stage Balanchine ballets, I do my utmost to research them, talk to the ballerinas that dance them, the ones that either he created the ballets for or the ones that he cast a lot. So I know he liked them. I know he liked the way they did them. I'm careful not to put in little, idiosyncratic, whatever, touches. Suzanne Farrell, for instance, was a very, very unique dancer. She did a lot of things differently. And Balanchine loved it because he loved her, and she was glorious. But, and I know that Suzanne herself does not stage her mannerisms when she stages the Balanchine ballets. She stages the ballets and she won't put in her mannerisms. And that's something that a ballet master, a stager, has to be very careful about, that you don't transfer your particular mannerisms or your shtick onto a new cast. And there's a famous story of one of her dancers that Suzanne had taught a role, and then later that dancer saw a video of Suzanne doing it, and she said to Suzanne, she goes, "Well, you did it differently. That's not what you taught me." And Suzanne said, "No, that was the way I did it," which is very smart, and I really respect Suzanne Farrell for that. But there are a lot of good stagers of Balanchine. I'm just concerned that City Ballet has a point of view about all this, and that they have, as an institution, the right classes. That's very important to me. Balanchine did all of his work in class. That all became clear on stage, but the work was done in the class. And I'm concerned about the classes. But anyway, I just wanted to say that life goes on, and I'm very happily working on a couple of big projects. The whole point is so that I can start my company again. I love having a company feeling. It's like a family. And I'm sorry if yesterday I sounded a little bit too down. It's just that I care so much for New York City Ballet. But the Balanchine ballets are being done around the world, obviously. Differences, of course, that don't please me, but, he didn't care, so maybe I should care less. Nah, it's not possible. I can't care less. All right, so that's it. So I'm fine, everybody. Thank you for your good wishes. I wish nothing but the best for New York City Ballet and the school. I'd like to have been helpful and be part of it again. That was my family for many years. And psychologically, it's still, I consider that home base. But I have to stop that. I have to stop. It's not the New York City Ballet under Balanchine. For 35 years, it's been the New York City Ballet under Peter Martins, which was a completely different kettle of fish. Completely different. Everything from lighting to decor to costumes, into style even. Now, that's not everybody, but there has been a change, and I guess that's inevitable. I don't see why it has to happen, but all right, I'll stop. Anyway, thank you, everybody, and if I have something interesting to say, or if somebody writes me something interesting that I want to respond to, then I'll get back on here, but you probably won't see that much more of me on here, not until something exciting happens. So, everybody, take care, and thank you for watching.